Hey y'all, it's Trent Knox with the Trent Knox Show, episode 94 of the Trent Knox Show. I am attempting to get back into on all the networks as I usually do. I've got the Twitch, the YouTube, the Facebook, and the Periscope open here. And we are broadcasting, and it's something that I've wanted to do for a minute, but I've been really busy focusing on Esports Business Network and on getting the platform up and running. The thing that I've been focusing on most is connecting and networking with people who are interested or passionate about esports and the industry, to talk about some of the challenges and obstacles that new people face when they're entering the industry. And over the course of the past 6 months, I've been able to develop a program that provides someone who is just starting off with the tools to take advantage of being successful in the industry. People often equate that to what they can earn or what they can do, and there are a lot of opportunities in the industry to experience the world in esports. Esports is a global industry with different tournaments happening around the world. You have mobile tournaments that you're seeing in places like India and Africa and the Philippines. We're sponsoring two tournaments, one tournament in the Philippines and one in India, one for Mobile Legends and one for PUBG Mobile. If you're listening to this broadcast live, I do have the chat open, so if you would like to discuss topics, I'd be interested in talking with you about those sort of conversations about esports. But if you're listening to this broadcast on the podcast, feel free to reach out to me through my email, trent@trentknox.com, or you can join the Facebook groups or any of the groups that are online that I'm a member of, and feel free to reach out to me, tag me. Generally, if you do @Trent Knox, you'll find me, and you can tag me in the post, and I'll be able to reply to your comments. And also, I'll look into the YouTube comments after the show, and talk with you guys there as well. There's been a lot of stuff going on in the world, and it's not all that easy to decipher what you're supposed to be doing in a time like this, with so much chaos going on and violence and neglect and inconsiderate behaviors. It's really complicated for us to sort through and figure out how can we be positive members of our community and greater society at whole. And sometimes it's you need to step back and you don't need to add more fuel to the fire. You need to collect your thoughts, figure out what is the most impactful way to add value to the conversation. And I feel like podcasts that I've done previously talking about things going on in the world have been rushed, have been forced in the sense that I don't really have a solid lexicon or tool set of language to properly convey a message that will help people feel more stable, feel less driven by anxiety and fear, and relate to people that we're all going through troubling times, and we all have our obstacles that are our own and to our own merit. Life is not easy. It's not to say that it shouldn't be more simple. Life can be simple, but life is not easy. You can design your life in such a way that you are solving less complex problems, or you can design your life to be solving more complex problems. And I'm not talking about the frequency of problems or the number of problems that you're solving. Obviously, smaller problems with a lower complexity of error will be simpler than solving problems with a high complexity of error. Less statistically less quantity of problems. So if you have a high quantity of problems that you're solving with a frequency of lower complexity, then you may find life to be simpler. But if you have a maximum number of high complexity problems that you're solving, you may find life to be extremely burdensome and troubling and traumatic. I honestly have been experiencing some very trying times. I haven't really figured out life. I haven't solved life, and I'm someone that's learning how to communicate in the way that I want to communicate with people, and I'm learning how to surround myself with people that are interested in adding value to my life rather than sort of showcasing negative behaviors that people generally experience in groups. I'm learning how to deal with communities and manage communities as I grow. Um, I don't necessarily feel as though I have the adequate amount of experience to consider myself a leader, even though I've established that I'm someone interested in building a business. Um, um, Sorry, where were we? Had to break away there. Apologize. Um, I had just gotten a delivery from FedEx, and I thought they were going to leave it at the door. But looks like they couldn't do that. So, oh man. I'm looking to get some sort of validation that I'm doing the right thing, that I've built these systems, these businesses to eventually take care of people's living situations, and that, you know, I'm capable of help helping people go from nothing to something like I have, and work in a role that they've wanted to do with their life, and that they're able to do the thing that they love. I think the challenge that some of us who are entrepreneurs that are dealing with this issue of lack of validation, lack of authority, lack of attention, the inability to integrate and get yourself into a social circle, the social proofing that's necessary to be accepted in this world, and that that a lot of us end up being entrepreneurs because society doesn't that we just don't fit in. We don't fit in, and because we don't fit in, it's a struggle for us to actually be successful. We end up living on the street, homeless, because we can't seem to find a way. We end up seeding off of other people rather than being successful without hanging on to other people's coattails and without leeching off of people and being leeches and bloodsuckers and just terrible representations of humanity. People who just are dependent on people to pay their way through life, and that they don't, and people like me who just don't have control mentally, go through these mental health issues where you don't have the capital, you don't have the power, you don't have the authority, you don't have the team, you don't have the language skills, you're not from a wealthy family, your skin color is the wrong color, your eye color is the wrong color, you wear your hair the wrong way, you wear the wrong clothes, you do everything that doesn't help, or you do everything but they say no, or it doesn't fit and you don't fit in, you're not right, you're not like us, you're not like them, you're not like us, you're not like those people, you're not like them, you don't fit in. But what we realize is that as you develop as an entrepreneur and you learn new skills and you learn new experiences, that everyone is leeching to some degree off something. Now they can live on their high horse and behave like, that daddy didn't give them all their money, or mommy didn't take care of them the whole time that they were going through school, and that they're just babies, and that they've not gotten out of the nest, and that they're some people's nests are much larger than other people's. Some people are born into families with great wealth, and that great wealth extends for multi-generational and may never go away. And as a result, they're able and capable of doing anything that they wish in this capitalistic society that we live in. And others of us, more like myself, have to scavenger and beg, borrow, and steal in order to be successful, because the system was not designed to benefit people that did not design the system. Because it is those individuals who design the system that would choose the individuals who would be put onto an elevated status in society, such like the kings and queens and empresses and emperors and priests and priestesses, or whatever you want to call it, the way that people created hierarchies, some with merit and some with not. And I think that this is the thing that most people that I talk to are challenged with, is that when we interface with each other, we look to see where we measure up in the world, and this can even get even more frightening when you are an outsider, an individual outsider, an independent outsider, approaching a group of people that are carbon copies of each other because of nepotism, because of ego, because of a multitude of reasons why, because of security, because of insecurity. These individuals congregate together to within self-preservation. It's a self-preservation tactic. And not many of us are crazy enough to attempt to diversify ourselves and enter into relationships that are challenging and different than the social norms. That could be interracial relationships. That could be gender queer relationships. That could be decisions to not be in relationships. But we all kind of make a decision when it comes to these things, based off of our self-preservation. It would be great if life was more streamlined, and that's, I guess, why I want to build the businesses that I do, is because I believe that the tool sets that I'm building will help me develop additional skill sets and allow me to innovate the communities that I engage with. I don't think this is something that a lot of people attempt to do. I feel that a lot of people attempt to go about fitting into groups, and changing their appearance, or changing their behavior, or changing themselves just so that they can fit in. But how are you supposed to stand out if you're always trying to fit in? How are you going to be discoverable in a sea of people that look like you, talk like you, be like you, are like you? This is a complex problem to think about, because you ultimately want to have people that are like you, because they are able to learn off you, but they have to acknowledge you as an authority, acknowledge you as a leader, acknowledge you as a mentor, acknowledge you as someone that they can look up to. And something about that is that it's difficult to be cool It's difficult to be the person that fits all of the archetypes and stereotypes that other people perceive as the alpha or authorities in the world. You know, being physically fit, being attractive, having good taste, being wealthy, being philanthropic, being knowledgeable, being active, not in the sense of a physical state, but being active in the community, actually doing something physically, not online, but offline. Being inside the community, smacking it, or whatever. That's probably pretty vulgar. But getting it in GSD, getting shit done, and showcasing that you just pound the pavement, and you pound it, and you pound it, and you pound the pavement, even when there's nothing there to pound. You're still pounding and beating it and beating it and beating it, because you pound the pavement, you put in the hard work, you bust your ass, and you get shit done. And that's how you grind away and you win and you get to be successful. Because it's not made out for everyone. Not everyone gets the chance to be able to work hard. Some people are locked away, imprisoned, captivated, shunned, disgusted. You shouldn't let that be. You should be able to break out of those mental imprisonments. Break out of them. Don't let them put the shackles on you. Don't let a small group of people think big. Think about the world. Think about the globe. Think about how many people that the power structures in your small community, your medium-sized community, your large communities don't know about the world, the globe, the solar system, the galaxy, the intergalactical space, the dimensions. They don't know. So you study, you work hard, you learn, you get the communication skills, you beat them in debates, you whip them, you win, win. You take all the prize pools, you don't let up, because you're pounding the pavement, door-to-door sales. You're knocking them away, you're cold calling. You're making everybody listen, because your message is never give up, never back down. Don't let the haters, the naysayers, the negative Nancys, the joking Johnnies, the jackass Jacks, the jumping for Air Jordans, the loser Larrys, moaning Monicas, moaning Monicas, misandrias Marys, the the cuckolding Karens, and don't let those white knights, losers, straight losers, men hating men, women hating women, people hating people, hold you down, man. Don't let those fucking losers that can't get their shit together, that mooch off of other people, that don't have their own thing, couldn't make their own thing if they tried. They have to beg other people to get a job, and then they have to kiss ass throughout their whole entire life to make it in life. And then they can't, and then their argument is, oh, well, you're just a mooch, you're just a leech, you're just a sucker, nobody likes you, yada yada yada, hate. No love. No love. No kindness. And it is kind of, I know you are, but what am I, contradiction scenario. Whenever you start pointing out the negative, you're talking negatively when you're talking negative. Of course. And that's the comeback that all the people who are 100% negative have. It's like, I know you are, but what am I? Childish behaviors. If people could just think a little bit, they probably realize that it's not as black and white as it seems, but at times there is some of this unwarranted organizational actions. Some people choose to do things that don't benefit the greater good. They choose to do things selfishly, and in choosing to do things selfishly, they harm the people around them, they harm the communities. But the contradiction of what I'm saying is if you don't start out doing something on your own as an individual, then you could wait your whole entire life and never be anyone. You could never help anyone. It's a possibility. You know, working hard is quintessential. And it's been proven that if you work hard, eventually you can be successful. Working hard leads to success. Miracles do happen, but they don't happen to everyone. You can get lucky, and I don't care about that whole preparation plus blah 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 equals blah blah equals luck. That's bullshit. Some things just happen out of nowhere. It's miraculous. There's no, only God knows why it happened. The probability of something happening is 1,000,000 to 1, and we just wonder, well, what can we do? We want to maximize the opportunity for us to get lucky. We want to maximize the opportunity for us to be successful. We know there are people out there that have a vested interest in seeing us fail because it doesn't paint to their narrative, because they have an exclusive scarcity mindset. They think that either they're a minority or majority or somewhere in either of those categories, a mix of the two. Or I hate when this comes down to this, but it's like we all live on this one rock propelling through the galaxy, but we can't seem to empathize with people that are different than us. Makes them no less human, no less of the species of mankind, no less anything. I mean, sometimes we think some other person's an alien, because we've never seen anything that looks like them before, but the world's not that complex. It's pretty simple. I mean, outside of our broadcast companies and news publications that feed us this misinformation and false publications, fake news, however you want to use language to define it. Aliens, otherworldly beings, UFOs, whatever. What is that distraction doing when what you need to focus on is getting your frickin' business together, getting your money right, experiencing what we have to offer today, not in the future? Go get that cash, buy some real estate, get some hard assets, assets that appreciate, and bust your ass and work hard and die. That's what you're supposed to do. Bust your ass, work hard, be the man, be the woman, and die. That's all we have to live for. Busting your ass, working hard to your bones, breaking legs, breaking arms, breaking your skull, fighting, beating up people, drinking, doing drugs. That's what we're supposed to be living for? That's all we have to live for? I don't know. We're not just on this world to be entertained. There's got to be a greater purpose. Just because one man landed on the moon, we shouldn't be able to shoot for the stars. I guess not everyone can be Elon Musk trying to go to Mars, but the kid starting out today that's shooting bottle rockets, shooting off, rockets, little rockets, whatever, why am I missing the wording and I can't remember what I'm talking about because I'm such a lame person. I have no hobbies. I don't do anything for fun. Play some video games, but what does that do? Like, I don't go to the mini golf course. I don't go to the batting cage. I don't throw axes. I don't have a book club. I'm not going out to the club, meeting girls, and wasting away my 20s. Even though, what else am I doing? Pretty much had nothing going on in my life at all, ever. I drove Lyft for 3 years and sat around in a car on my ass and got fat and ate fast food, and after that I started delivering groceries and other people who are getting fast food and door-to-door sales, knocking on doors, selling garbage AT&T products that people get, that people don't even know how to work. They don't even have the finances to afford the entertainment that they're paying for. Just complete debauchery that I've gotten on in my life. I've never had a genuinely positive purpose in my life. I've never had something that I was doing that I felt like was significantly impacting the greater good of humanity. Even when I was doing volunteer work at an animal shelter, doing volunteer work wherever at the Habitat for Humanity, it felt as though there was always these corporate hierarchy structures that ultimately it didn't matter because all they were doing was repurposing the things that they sold already so that they could resell it to some schmuck that 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 can't build their own cabinet. Jesus was a carpenter ass shit. Like I can't. I hear myself talking and I think like, can I just not get a breakthrough? Can I not say something that's extremely impactful and that the thing that I say will revolutionize the world? Like, why am I such a loser? Why can't I break through and be somebody in the world and stop being this person that I am today when I see people that are just like me being successful, but whatever I'm doing is not working? I can't figure it out. Like, am I just not finding the right mentors myself? Do I not have the right role models? Who do I have to learn from so that I can learn how to be a better leech off of the system? How do I learn how to stop being a loser and be a winner? Like, and I don't want to create some multi-level marketing scheme or some sort of pyramid scheme where those on the top, it's trickled down economics. I want to be a part of a community that everyone can be a positive member, and that there's very little what's the word I'm looking for? Vulnerability within the system for people to be griefers and freaking losers, man. I'm tired of being a loser. I'm tired of sucking like terrible and being and my message and everything that I'm doing going out to no one. And if you feel this way too, like if you feel like you're going nowhere, if you feel like it's tough, please contact me. I want to talk to you about this. I want to see how can we work together to try and solve this problem that we're facing within our communities, that we're all kind of just stuck either some of us are stealing to make it by. Some of us are cheating people to make it by. How can we just fix these issues? How can we help each other? How can we, it's all a matter of perspective, obviously. Some people can justify their theft. Some people can justify their bad behavior. Some people can justify, and we're all doing these justifications. But a lot of the time, the reason why we're making these justifications is because we just don't see the alternatives. We can't see the alternatives. We can't see any other option other than being a leech or a loser or anything, because we don't know where the competition is. Who do we go and match ourselves up against? Who do we take the chance to learn from? If we get our ass whooped, we get our ass whooped. But hopefully we learn through the process how not to get our ass whooped. The reason why we got checked that way, and we got checked in the uppercut, or a lower body hit, we're getting hit the leg, boom, boom, boom. The reason why that's happening is because we don't know how to protect ourselves. Maybe there's the best learning process is failure, but you gotta know how to even take action. You gotta learn how to take action, ensure quality, oh my God. Everybody's gonna be like, this is the most poor quality podcast that Trent Knox has ever done. This is the worst podcast he's ever done. And it could very well age like a fine wine, or it could age like some garbage. But I would like to think that it doesn't age like that. I'm not really talking about anything that's that popular, and I guess maybe that's an issue. If I was talking about Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, Joe Rogan, if I was talking about these people that are doing things and I was sucking and leeching off of them, maybe that would be a better use of my time on a podcast, talking about someone else and giving them airtime on my show. Sucking up to the man. But I'm not talking about them, man. I'm not talking about them. Just because I didn't say their brand or mention their title doesn't mean that I'm not talking about them. It's like, I feel as though folks have forgotten that these people who are successful are regular human beings. They're not gods. They're not magicians. They're not necromancers. They're regular people. Came from regular walks of life, got lucky, and are where they are at today. Don't tell me they worked the hardest in the world, and that's why they got to where they're at today. Because look at it, we don't know that. We don't know that. We know plenty of people who've worked their ass off and have a record to show for it, but didn't get the shots that they did because either they don't speak the language that they're supposed to be speaking, or for whatever reason they just don't have it. You know, it's not a matter of quality. It's not a matter of context. Oh man, all that needs to happen though is there just needs to be more opportunity. I'm going to talk about something that you're not supposed to talk about. Religion, politics, those two things, you're not supposed to talk about them. I'm going to talk about politics real quick. In the United States, because I know this is a global podcast, and folks who don't live in the United States aren't going to give too much about this, but in the United States, we're dealing with the pandemic just like everyone else around the country, around the world. And, some countries have been capable of holding it down a little bit better and figuring shit out. But we seem to be unable to figure it out as a country, and we have people who are supposed to be representing us in the Congress, and they're behaving like aliens because they can't seem to empathize with humanity and their own citizens. They can't comprehend that when you have an unemployment rate at 13%, 40 million people out of work, and each month 6 million people are being laid off, while you're only creating 2 million new jobs, there's a huge deficit and an eventual collapse of a commerce market. How are people supposed to buy products if they're not earning money? And if that number continues to go up and they keep on, on one side of the aisle, they discredit and don't pay attention to the laid off numbers, and they just talk about the new jobs numbers, hearing, oh, it's good to be positive, but let's be realistic. Like, these are the numbers. These aren't some bullshit numbers. These are the actual numbers of people, because we see how many people are applying for unemployment and the amount of people, the amount of companies that are indicating that they've laid people off. So 40 million is more looking like 60 million people. That's a quarter of the nation. Some people even want to say it's higher than that. Some people want to say, due to the fact of undocumented people, we're looking at maybe 150 million. On 150 million, it's half the fucking country. Like, stop messing with us. Stop this sort of behaviors that people are exhibiting, that they don't have a care for their neighbor, and they don't care about their community, is absurd. Okay, I know some people want to distance themselves and just because they want them. I don't know. I don't claim to understand how people who are truly bigoted, truly misogynist, truly all of these different things, I don't know how they manage to make it through life. They're so lucky. They're just lucky that maybe the higher being, the true God, just values them more than the rest of society. I don't know that to be the case because I don't talk to God. I don't talk to aliens. I know some crazy people that do, that believe they do, and those people that believe that they talk to aliens and they talk to ghosts and stuff like that, they should probably seek psychiatric help. But the trouble with that is that now there are some psychiatrists that believe crazy wonky things like in Bigfoot and all these different things. But unless you see some visual proof, like it's not manipulated by the mainstream media or manipulated by the fake news, then how the hell are you supposed to know anything's real? You gotta make these decisions on your own. You gotta see it with your own two eyes. You gotta smack it on the butt. You gotta do everything you gotta do to get it done. Get it done. You gotta know how to hold your composure. You can't, get off too soon. You gotta stay riding the horse. Ride it all night long. Ride, Ride, cowboy. Ride, cowgirl. Whatever you gotta do. Like, get it done. Smack it on the butt. Get it done. Like, that's what it is. Tell it that it needs to shut up and listen and don't stop. I don't know if that's honestly the best thing to do, but just get it done. Put the work in, get it done. What needs to be done is a whole nother question. For me, I wanted to get this in. I wanted to get it done. But I've got to delegate some of the stuff that I do to other people because I can't accomplish it on my own. So that's what it is. And if you listen to this episode and you got no idea what I'm talking about, that's normal. I don't blame you. If you're facing some of these obstacles, problems in your own life, don't hesitate to reach out to me. You can book a session with me. My sessions are open. I've got hour-long sessions. You can go to calendly.com/Trent Knox and book a session with me, hour-long session. As always, follow me on all the social medias, TrentKnox.com, and then social media handle Trent Knox on pretty much all the platforms. I hope that you guys have a wonderful week. I know today is Tuesday. I should have done a podcast on Monday, but this will go out